All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're going to be taking a look at scientific discoveries.
Yeah.
We see these headlines all the time about, breakthroughs in medicine or out in space. And
Right.
I thought it'd be really cool to step back and kind of look at what actually makes something a scientific discovery
Yeah, definitely.
and how those discoveries actually, come to be.
Yeah.
So I've got a ton of your research here, and we're going to really dive deep into this stuff.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be a really fascinating conversation.
I think so too.
So to kick things off, what even is a scientific discovery?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, we sort of all know it when we see it.
Uh-huh.
Scientists discover, life on a new planet or something.
Right.
But what is it that actually makes it a scientific discovery?
So it's a new finding that really changes our understanding of the natural world.
Okay.
It's like we're putting together this giant puzzle, and a scientific discovery is like finding a new piece
Oh, I like that.
that helps us see the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we get so focused on the end result, the discovery itself, that we
Right.
forget the journey.
Yeah.
How did that discovery actually happen?
Exactly.
And that's what I think is really interesting too. So can we talk about that a little bit, the process, the scientific method?
Absolutely. So the scientific method is kind of like a roadmap that scientists use.
Okay.
It starts with observation, like noticing something interesting or unusual.
Okay.
Then you got to come up with a hypothesis, which is like an educated guess
Yeah.
about why that thing is happening.
Like a possible explanation.
Exactly. And then you got to test that hypothesis
Okay.
by designing experiments, collecting data, and then analyzing it all to see if your hypothesis holds up.
So it's kind of like detective work in a way.
Totally. It's all about gathering evidence
Yeah.
and using it to solve a mystery.
So now I'm really curious to dive into some specific discoveries.
Yeah, let's do it.
You've got some really fascinating research here on all kinds of breakthroughs. We've got stuff on medicine, space, the environment technology. I don't even know where to start.
Well, since we were just talking about life on other planets,
Oh, yeah.
why don't we start with space?
Okay.
Like the Hubble telescope, for example.
Yeah.
Those incredible images it sent back.
Right.
They weren't just pretty pictures.
Yeah.
They actually helped scientists figure out how old the universe is.
Oh, wow.
And they discovered dark energy,
Gargan.
which is this mysterious force that's making the universe expand faster and faster.
Oh, wow. That's mind-blowing to even think about that.
It's crazy to think that we can even observe things that are happening billions of light years away.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. It's amazing what we can do with technology.
Absolutely.
And speaking of technology, you've got some research here on gene editing,
Oh, yeah.
particularly CRISPR. I mean, this stuff is straight out of science fiction.
It really is. CRISPR is like a game changer
Yeah.
because it lets scientists edit DNA sequences
Okay.
with incredible precision. So think about it, like personalized medicine tailored to your exact genes,
Oh, wow.
potentially curing diseases that are incurable today.
That's incredible.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, so CRISPR is definitely way up there.
Yeah.
In terms of groundbreaking scientific discoveries,
Yeah.
what about some of the stuff that's maybe a little bit closer to home?
Mm-hmm.
You've got some research here on climate change,
Right.
renewable energy.
These are huge issues that affect everyone on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the discoveries that have been made in these areas
Yeah.
are so important, like understanding how greenhouse gases impact the climate.
All right.
That was a major wake-up call.
It was.
But at the same time, we're seeing incredible breakthroughs in renewable energy,
Yeah.
like solar and wind power.
So it's kind of like a race against time.
In a way, yeah.
We've got these problems that science helped us understand in the first place. But now science is also helping us find solutions.
Exactly. It's all about using our knowledge to make the world a better place.
And it's not always about the big global issues either.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's the smaller discoveries that have the biggest impact.
that's so true.
Like your research on penicillin. I mean, it's amazing to think that something as simple as mold
Yeah.
can lead to a life-saving medicine.
It's a great example of how discoveries can come from unexpected places.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it reminds us that, science is happening all around us.
All the time.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about space, we've talked about medicine, we've talked about the environment. We can't forget about technology.
Oh, yeah. Technology is changing so fast.
It is. It really is. And it's all driven by scientific discovery.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. The smartphones we use every day, they wouldn't exist without discoveries in materials, science,
Right.
computer processing, wireless communication.
all of that stuff came from scientific research.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I guess the big takeaway here is that scientific discoveries, they aren't just abstract concepts.
Right.
They really do shape our world in a very real way.
They shape our everyday lives in ways we probably don't even realize.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. But before we go, I want to leave you with something to think about. With all these incredible advancements happening all the time, where do you think the next big breakthrough will come from? What unsolved mystery are you most curious about? Keep those questions in mind and keep on diving deep.